Okay, Proverbs 7. Warning against the adulterous woman. My son, keep my words and store my commands within you. Keep my commands and you will live. Guard my teachings as the apple of your eye. Bind them on your fingers, write them on the tablet of your heart. Say to wisdom, you are my sister, and to insight, you are my relative. They will keep you from the adulterous woman, from the wayward woman with her seductive words. The wayward, right? Wayward, right? She's warding the Spirit of God. She's warding the martial art order. Okay, wisdom is acknowledging the deep Royal African Falcon top martial artist is the most spiritually powerful person. And if people rebel against his lead, they're just circus people doing magic tricks, right? There's people who in the circus who do martial arts. There's people in the circus who do stuff like that. It's all presentation garbage, right? Demonstration. Okay. All right. At the window of my house, I looked through the lattice. I saw among among the simple. I noticed among the young men a youth who had no sense. He was going down the street near the corner, walking along in the direction of her house. So I noticed that there's countless people, okay, who keep listening to other people and they're not listening to me. If you are my early viewers especially, I don't know how many views I'll get in the future, you'll see there's not that many views because people are fucking dumb. Imagine, if you will, a nation, a planet that listens to bootlicking fucking cowards and not the top martial artists ever. Isn't that just pathetic? They're listening to pedophiles and their allies in the church. They're listening to weirdos and new age movements. They're listening to politicians and assorted business scum. But they won't listen to the most righteous guy ever. And females are dating all kinds of filth while they're shunning the most romantic and righteous person ever. There is no excuse for that kind of judgment, that kind of failure. Okay, every moment they're in rebellion. Their loved ones in the spiritual realm who are dead, okay, suffer more. Them and their offspring are going to suffer more for eternity, right, in the afterlife. In fact, the occultists like to say that they embrace the disgrace. They know that they're disgraced. And the more they try to pretend that I'm the one who's disgraced or something, the more they're going to suffer. I can't warn you people enough. The dumbest thing to do in human history is to rebel against my lead at this point in time. There's no words for how stupid it is. I'm astounded at how dumb the world is. Okay, again it says, I saw among the simple, I noticed among the young men a youth who had no sense, right? No sense. The essential alpha essence to sense the presence of God, why they call it a sensei, and so on and so forth. Okay, but of course everyone else is in rebellion against me and my parents are blameless. He was going down the street near the corner, walking along in the direction of her house. At twilight, as the day was fading, as the dark of night set in, then out came a woman to meet him, dressed like a prostitute and with crafty intent. Dressed like a prostitute. Look at the liberals, like a prostitute. Look at the conservatives. Look at the corporate people. Okay, everybody who's outside the divine order, because of the association and the context, if for nothing else, is dressed like a prostitute. Male and female, even children. Okay, with crafty intent. Masonry is called the craft, right? A bunch of secret societies, witchcraft, the craft. Okay, you know, the merchants, the skilled workers of Babylon, of the global Babylonian system, with crafty intent to play the game, what have you. She is unruly and defiant. Her feet never stay at home. Now in the street, now in the squares, at every corner she lurks. She took hold of him and kissed him, and with a brazen face she said, today I have fulfilled my vows, and I have food for my fellowship offering at home. So fellowship, what ship? She's on board the rebel against the Royal African Falcon top martial artist order ship, and all those arrogant Europeans and Americans and Israelis and so on and so forth who would say that we don't want you to say it that way. Isn't that sweet? Why 1 in 4 little girls are molested? Why 9 million people starve to death because of the Western's global policies and their allies? They don't want me to point out that their order is despicable and false and their churches are allowed because they're trash. Okay? How pathetic is that? Anyway, so I came out to meet you. I looked for you and I found you. I've covered my bed with colored linens from Egypt. I've perfumed my bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. Come, let's drink deeply of love till morning. Let's enjoy ourselves with love. My husband is not at home. He has gone on a long journey. He took his purse filled with money and will not be home till full moon. Okay, so notice they're talking about the moon has implications there. There's a lot of implications that are like something that occultists are concerned with. But the core moral is what's important is don't follow other people. Don't have relationships outside the divine order, which is the order that I am in charge of, and no one is obeying God through me. So no one but my parents is authorized by God to have a relationship. And your ill-gotten gains, and you're seeking to yoke yourself with other people with ill-gotten gains, is counted against you, right? Pay her back double for her sins. For her becoming one flesh with scum, for people who become one flesh with scum, marriage, sex, you name it. All right, where was I? My husband is not at home. He has gone on a long journey. He took his purse filled with money and will not be home till full moon. With persuasive words, she led him astray. She seduced him with her smooth talk. All at once, he followed her like an ox going to the slaughter, like a deer stepping into a noose, till an arrow pierces his liver, like a bird darting into a snare, little knowing it will cost him his life, right? Spiritually. So again, her smooth talk can be her body language. We see the national or cultural temptation and coercion, tempting people with what they claim is an easier life or what they claim is a safer and better choice. Now then, my sons, listen to me, pay attention to what I say. Do not let your heart turn to her ways or stray into her paths. Many are the victims she has brought down, her slain are a mighty throng. Her house is a highway to the grave, leading down to the chambers of death. So how do you go to hell? Sexual immorality, idolatry. That's what this is focused on. Again, Proverbs 7 is titled "Warning Against the Adulterous Woman." Okay. Now, again, I can't warn you about this enough. People who pretend that because I'm sabotaged, that they should follow someone else, especially by not obeying God through me, okay, are headed for a world of shit. Those people are assigned to this case, the people who are in the governing class, anyone who is logically more to blame than others, was cursed to the extreme by their families. Okay, God allowed them to be cursed in that position because of their stupidity. They're the type of dumbasses that follow a bunch of horrible people anywhere they go, and they just happen to be assigned to the case that is going to cost them and their families and their loved ones and their offspring more than anything has ever cost anybody in human history.